Why, hello. And welcome to 3.28 Mirage Patch Notes, a dramatic reading by ADR Esquire. So allow me to pour a drink and we'll get started, shall we? Blink, hello. How are you doing? Okay, but actually I didn't pour my drink. Hold on. God damn it. Hold on. Okay. Alright, so do we have everybody working? Let's see. Yes, we do. Perfect. Amazing. Fantastic. Alright, so let's see. How's our music volume looking? Music volume's looking fine. Okie dokie. So let's get down to it. 3.28 Path of Exile Mirage. Lots of changes. Lots of stuff I haven't read yet. Let's see what we have. This will not be a full patch note reading. If I think the thing I'm reading is boring, I'm gonna skip it. You have two eyes. You can read, hopefully. If not, my bad. All right, hold on. I gotta fix one thing. Let's see. Oh, where is it? It's right there. Let's pull that down just a bit. A little loud for me. A little loud for me. Much better. All right, let's. Let us begin, shall we? The Mirage Challenge League. We already know. Next, new content and features. Added the new reliquary and ascendancy. Yep. Introduced exceptional support gems. We know. Okay. Okay. We don't care about most of this, do we? Is there anything here that wasn't in the? Okay, there we go. We can start with the transfigured stuff. me. Added a new strength and intelligence skill gem, Divine Blast. Is it Divine Blast Project? No. Why is it? Why? Okay, that's just weird. I'm sorry. I have to start over. I wasn't aware of how they were phrasing this. I'm sorry. Let's. me. Okay. Added a new strength and intelligence skill gem, Divine Blast. Project a beam of holy light from your shield to a targeted location, causing an implosion of holy energy. This energy then lingers for a short duration before blasting outwards in a larger and more damaging explosion. Added a new strength and intelligence skill gem, Holy Hammers. Slam the ground ahead of you, calling down a holy hammer from above. On hitting an enemy, another hammer will cascade forward, repeating if further enemies are hit up to a cap. A power charge can be expended to call down additional hammers to either side of the initial slam. This will require a mace or a staff. Added a new strength and intelligence gem, Holy Strike. Infuse your weapon with holy energy and swing. Successfully hitting an enemy will summon forth a holy armament, which copies your main hand weapon stats to determine its own. These holy armaments are undamageable minions and will attack the enemies you target with your holy strike. This will require a mace, scepter, or staff. We're gonna make some adjustments here. I don't think we need to. We don't need that part. So I'm gonna call an audible and just skip that part. Shield of Light. Retaliate against a blocked hit with a sweep of your shield, unleashing a wave of light in a cone in front of you. Additional waves also emanate from allies in a radius around the first target struck towards that target. The snake ate got me. Think of the follow. Sushi wide first. Yeah, okay. Welcome in. Let's see. Oh, we've changed. Added a new strength transfigured skill gem. Shockwave Totem of Authority. Summons a totem that shakes the earth around you, damaging enemies. Transfigured skill gem. Static Strike of Gathering Lightning. You attack with a melee weapon, gaining a Gathering Lightning buff for a duration if you hit an enemy. While you have Gathering Lightning, attacks with this skill will cause chaining beams of lightning, which chain farther the more Gathering Lightning you have. That seems interesting to me. Like, listen, I after playing Antiquarian Static Strike, I'm kind of a, we'll see. I'm sorry. I got my, come on. Alrighty. New Dexterity Transfigured Skill Gem, Charged Dash of Projection. Projection. Yes, that's the word. Channel to project an illusion which you steer. You gain stages while it moves until it stops at a maximum total distance. Waves of area damage frequently pulse along its path based on your attack speed. Stop channeling to release the illusion, dealing a final wave of damage. Requires a melee weapon. I look forward to no one ever playing this. Added a new Dexterity Intelligence Transfigured Skill Gem, Flamethrower Trap of Stability. Throw a trap that releases a number of flames in different directions around it when it triggers. The flame lasts for duration, repeatedly dealing damage. Wow. Just wow. Have you ever read a patch note that was just more invigorating in your life? I don't think I have. That might have just changed my world for the better. Added a new Intelligence Transfigured Skill Gem, Kinetic Fusillade of Detonation. Wave your wand to create multiple hovering kinetic projectiles. After a short duration, the projectiles explode, dealing area damage. Using this attack again will reset the duration of all hovering projectiles. Cannot be used by traps or mines. Who cares? Added a new Intelligence Transfigured Skill Gem, Orb of Storms of Squalls. Creates an electrical orb that will strike enemies in its area of effect with beams of lightning when placed, as well as when you use a lightning skill while within its area. These beams of lightning can then split to hit more enemies. When striking enemies, this orb will teleport to a random enemy struck. Casting this skill again will replace the previous orb. I want to play with this skill. I want to play with this skill. Let us continue, shall we? Transfigured Skill Gem, Shock Nova of Procession. Casts a ring of lightning around you, followed by a larger lightning nova. Each effect hits enemies caught in their area with lightning damage. This then repeats, with each repeat offset from the previous in the direction of your target. Interesting. I need to see what that looks like. Do we have video of that? I wonder. I kind of want to like visually see how that looks. Let's see. Transfigured Skill Gem, Storm Burst of Repulsion. Unleash orbs of energy while you channel that repeatedly jump away from the targeted location until their duration expires, dealing damage in a small area after each jump. When you stop channeling, all of the remaining orbs explode, dealing higher damage in a larger area. This is going to be one of those ones we kind of got to see what that looks like. It doesn't sound all that great, but maybe it could be really good for clear and maybe just bad for bossing. Who knows? Like I could see repulsion being very good for like just clear. Like they just like spread out and it's just a giant area, but who knows? Also, what's going on, Baneful? Hello, hello. Alrighty. Moving on. Added a new intelligence and dexterity transfigured skill trim, Siphoning Trap of Pain. Throws a trap that applies debuff beams to a number of nearby enemies for a duration. The beams chill enemies and deal cold damage over time. This will never be used. I don't know. Maybe somebody will use it, but I don't see it. Applying for a new job, going all out for a 20k pay loss. Hey, but are you going to? Are you losing 20k to gain 20k worth of mental sanity? Because like that's a good trade-off, right? Yeah, that's all that matters, right? Fully remote also, that's huge. That is huge. Like taking a pay grade, like not having to commute. Like I don't know how long your commute would be in your area, but like that's so huge. that's so huge. Like I know somebody who's who's planning to apply for a job soon, and if they get it, they're going to be going from being a fully remote worker for the last, I don't know, 8 years to being somebody who has to commute an hour and a half both ways. And I'm like, are you factoring in that drive when you're doing this? Because I don't think you are. It's a whole new field. I'm in IT and I really don't want to do it. Applying to the VA. Nice. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Eventually you can move up. Cool. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Freedom to move. That makes sense, yeah. All right, one moment. Let me get back to this for just a minute. Where were we? Siphoning trap, correct? Ah, yes, I see. I see. Let me. All right, continuing on. Added a new strength and intelligence support gem, Blessed Call support. This supports Warcry skills, causing them to create consecrated ground. Supported Warcries have a lower area of effect and cooldown recovery rate. Cannot support a triggered Warcry. Excommunicate supports melee attacks, causing them to gain a percentage of physical damage as extra fire and lightning damage. And excommunicate enemies on melee hit. Does not modify skills used by minions. Exemplar support supports minion skills, causing your minions to have increased critical strike chance and critical strike multiplier for each of your own recent critical strikes. Ooh. Man, they're really pushing critical minions now, huh? Man, you know, I might play a crit minion build this season. Anyway, new support gem Hollow, or Hallow, actually, excuse me, not Hollow. Hallow, that's an A. Hallow. Supports melee attacks you use yourself, causing them to inflict hallowing flame on melee hit. Does not modify skills used by minions. We've added 10 new rune grafts that can be found by shipping to ports in Kingsmarch. Rune graft of Agile, Connection, Consecration, Fury, Imbued, Rallying, Resurgence, Wrought Blood, Spellbound, and Suffering. And yet we don't know what any of those do. Amazing. Added 13 unique items, 8 new divination cards. The exotic sub-stash of the currency stash has been split into 2 new stashes for Atlas and League currencies. And we have continued to incrementally improve the sound, art, effects, and environments. You're welcome. In-game changes. Extensive changes have been made to the Atlas and how you engage with maps, without interfering with the beloved core experience. Some of the more frustrating aspects have also been streamlined or removed. Map items are no longer associated with a specific map area. As an example, instead of having a tier 10 Mesa map, you will now find a tier 10 map. To open a Mesa map, you now locate and select Mesa on your Atlas, put it in your map item, and activate your map device. It's glorious. Yeah, there's a. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna play yet. Whenever I start a season in PoE, I don't try hard my season starts at all. I just don't. It's not what I've done for many, many years now. I've been playing this fucking game since what? Open beta? I stopped feeling the need to try hard my starts ages ago. I might try harder start this season. I might actually have okay, I'm gonna make this build for this specific type of farming strategy type of deal, instead of just I feel like playing this character. Click. Okay, let's go. I might try hard a little bit because I do kind of want to stream this season. That's one of the things I've been talking about this year, is that I just want to make sure that I'm streaming more going into this new year. Instead of having the expectation that people kind of have now, that I stream TLI for a month and then I disappear for 2 months, you know? I got buffed for some crazy free link changes. Nice. All right, let's see. We already know a lot of this. Iagon now has a new goal, and he is determined to stop Zana, traversing the threads that weave the Atlas together and severing them. He has made use of a new mysterious discovery, arcane astrolabes. By using them to trace her movement, they cause dangerous side effects. Isn't it interesting that we got astrolabes in TLI and PoE back to back? Does anybody else find that interesting? We just got an astrolabe item added this season of TLI, and now we're getting an astrolabe item added this season of PoE. Does anybody else find that just weird? Anybody? Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Let's see. Okay, we've already seen this. Ooh, that's huge. Okay, that's a big change. That is a big change. The Decayed Voidstone is now obtained from killing both the Shaper and the Elder. It can also still be obtained from defeating Uber Elder. Interesting. You now receive a Voidstone from killing both the Searing Exarch and the Eater of Worlds instead of one from each. The extra Voidstone that this leaves is now obtained from killing the Incarnation of Dread. Okay, so we've completely changed how we get our Voidstones. Interesting. Introduced 3 memories: loneliness, trauma, and reverence, which will lead to the Incarnation of Neglect, Fear, and Dread fights. Tier 17 maps have undergone significant changes and are now Nightmare maps. Completing each Nightmare map now awards 1 Atlas skill point with a total of 5. Blah, blah. Let's see. Items that drop with memory strands will now more often be higher tier bases. Items that drop with memory strands will have more memory strands on average. Memory strands will have a larger influence on the tier of modifiers present on the item than previously. Okay, yeah. Memory strand items are looking real juiced this season. We'll see how juiced they really are, but you know. Uber bosses now only require 4 fragments instead of 5. Ooh. Elder Guardian, Shaper Guardian, and Conqueror maps always generate on tier 16 maps. As a result, divination cards for these items no longer explicitly state the map tier. Blessed Orbs are now able to reroll the specific Conqueror inhabiting Conqueror maps, or the specific Elder Guardian inhabiting Elder Guardian maps. Wow. That's a real nice fucking change right there. Holy. That's super nice. Like, I don't even play SSF, but like, imagine you're an SSF Andy and you read an SSF Andy and you read that line right there. You're pogging the fuck out. Also, that just like equalizes the value of these maps, right? Because you just throw fucking blessed orbs on them. It's okay. Yeah, we like this. We like this. Let's make things more streamlined. I like it. I fuck with this. Kirak no longer offers Atlas missions. Feels bad. Scouting reports can no longer be obtained. Unfortunate. Chisels are no longer a thing. Temple Architects now drop additional scarabs instead of additional map currency while you have an Atlas of Worlds room in the temple. Nice. Let's see. Maven's Chisels. Maven's Chisel of Procurement now adds 40 item rarity and at 20 quality instead of 60. 10 pack size instead of 20. 50 divination cards instead of 100. 50 scarabs instead of 150 currency instead of 100. So basically, except for Procurement, all of them have been nerfed by 50%, with Procurement getting a 33% nerf. Amazing. Quality of size to pack size instead of item quantity can no longer appear as a corruption and placement modifier on maps. Let's see. Okay. Whole lot of stuff about chisels, blah, blah, blah. Greatly reduced the amount of items dropped from explosive barrels in the fortress map. These barrels will now drop a comparable number of items to barrels in other maps. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. RIP Fortress, bro. You're done. You're done, brother. RIP Fortress, it's over. Let's see. Eldritch Altars of Searing Exarch now have Scouring, and Altars of Eater can no longer have Scouring. Sure. Greatly reduced the amount of items dropped. We already read that. Okay, the efficacy of has been the efficacy of the ambush grove of the tournament has been reduced. But why did you not put the number there? Why did you not put the number there? Blight Scarab of Blooming no longer adds additional non-boss wave of monsters to each Blight portal. What? What? Okay. Blight Scarab of the Blightheart no longer doubles the number of waves spawned in Blight encounters. It now guarantees each portal has 2 additional waves, with chances for a 3rd and 4th wave to occur. Okay. The Horned Scarab of Awakening now grants tier 16 plus areas contain the bosses from a random Maven invitation. Interesting. New Scarab, Abyss Scarab of Descending, which guarantees an abyssal depths. Okay. Introduce the Anarchy Scarab of the Exceptional, which has an exceptional rogue exile. Like, bro, the drops from these things better be juiced, because those exiles looks like they were going to be working people. Like, actually just murking people. Introduced the Betrayal Scarab of Unbreaking, which gives a chance for Syndicate members to not lose ranks when they are interrogated. Interesting. Expedition Scarab of Infusion, which makes logbooks go crazy. Bro, those logbooks that we saw looked insane. The new Kalgur Scarab looked really good. In additional random. Ritual Scarab of Corpses looks interesting. Beyond Scarab of Resurgence no longer enrages beyond bosses, and it now summons beyond bosses from other factions. That Scarab looks really, really good. This Scarab, I wonder how much this is going to be, and I also wonder how much the Beyond currency or the Tainted currency is going to cost this season with this Scarab existing. The Delirium Scarab of Neuroses now also grants Delirium reward types gain +1 to count on defeating unique Delirium bosses. Ooh, just a straight up buff to this Scarab. Very nice. So this gives you the potential chance. That makes the map a little weird though, doesn't it? Because what that does is now you kind of want to clear the map and then clear your boss. Like you want to clear the map and then clear the unique Delirium mobs and boss at the end. Interesting. Domination Scarab of Apparitions can now also spawn Pantheon shrines in addition to Conqueror ones. Fuck the Pantheon shrines do? I don't remember. Okay, here's a big one. The Influencing Scarab of Conversion has been renamed to the Influencing Scarab of Interference. It no longer grants a chance for maps to drop as a Shaper, Elder, Conqueror, or unique synthesized map, and now instead spawns a Conqueror, Elder, Shaper, or Synthesis boss to accompany the map boss. Oh. This additional boss is guaranteed to drop the accompanying map. That's so much worse. That's so much worse. I mean, okay. Hear me out. Does this additional boss just count as killing that boss type, right? So like, does it have the normal drops from that boss? Like, do you have like the normal Shaper Guardian drops and Elder Guardian drops? Or no? Because if so, maybe there's something there. Otherwise, this kind of, does this not just say that this scarab has just been reduced to dropping one map? It's like one map per scarab now, and that's kind of just it? Because that's how it reads to me. And if that's the case, this is... I've got questions about this one. The Legion Scarab of Command has been renamed to the Legion Scarab of Treasures, and now grants chests that are broken out a chance for the chest rewards to be applied to the monsters it breaks out, which also makes those monsters more difficult and rewarding. Holy... That's really, really interesting. It does make you have to be a little bit more careful with the way that you're clearing your legions, but that could be really, really interesting. Ritual Scarab of Selectiveness now allows for rerolling 2 additional times instead of 1. Sure. Ritual boys rise up. The Torment Scarab now grants a chance for tormenting spirits that have possessed monsters to be released when that monster is killed. The spirit then immediately dives into the ground, resurfacing with a new rare monster which they again possess. Interesting. That's... Ooh, okay. That's super interesting. So if you have a strategy that specifically just needs more and more rare mobs, then this scarab now gives you a chance to get more rare mobs than you would have had otherwise, because they're just kind of like generating a new rare monster. Huh. This might be sneakily good right here. Like, this might be sneaky good depending on strats that come out this season. The Scarab of Hunted Traders can no longer be obtained. No, the homies. The homies are gone, bro. Man, get out of here. Bisection has been split into 2 different scarabs. That does fun stuff, sure. Calgur Scarab has been buffed to give 2 ore deposits. Okay. The Cowgirl. I can't say that word. The Cowgirl, Torment, Essence, Domination, Anarchy, and Ambush Scarabs have all been buffed. Except in Roofless. Get fucked. Added 5 new map modifiers that can roll on Originator, Influence, and Nightmare maps. The following maps have been added back to the Atlas: Shrine, Fungal Hollow, Pin, Carcass, Lair, Bog, Terrace, Siege, Dungeon, Relic Chambers, Cold River, Coral Ruins, Wharf, Field, Plaza, Cave, Spider Lair, Courthouse, Graveyard, Gardens, Haunted Mansion, Reef, Dry Sea, Foundry, and Dig. And the following maps have been removed from the Atlas: Arachnid Nest, Coliseum, Waste Pool, RIP Waste Pool, bro, Thicket, Academy, Infested Valley, Cells, Desert, Bone Crypt, Toxic, bro, we lost Toxic Sewer and Waste Pool at the same time? What the hell? Could we not? Come on, man. Precinct, Shore, Spider Forest, Estuary, Channel, Bazaar, Glacier, Villa, Ramparts, Museum, Desert Spring, Temple, Underground River, Plateau, and Phantasmagoria. Holy shit, we lost a lot of good maps. Waste Pool's gone, Toxic Sewer is gone, Phantasmagoria is gone, Glacier is gone, Channel's like... We lost a lot of good maps, bro. I mean, we're getting Graveyard back, which is cool, I guess. We're getting Bog back. I don't know, like, pound for pound, I think we lost a lot more better. I think this is just kind of a this sucks. We lost a lot. We lost a lot of good maps, and we're not getting very many good ones in return, in my opinion. Drowning orbs no longer move toward enemies if there are no other enemies in range of the player. The following map modifiers can no longer roll. Players and their minions no longer deal damage 3 out of 10 seconds. Petrification statues, reduced action speed, marked for death, Remove life on hit. Impale, Awakener's Desolation, fewer traps, less movement, and damage from totems. Okay, cool. All of these suck. All of these suck. Thank you. Atlas tree changes. I'll be honest. I'm just gonna skip this section. Reading Atlas changes, just raw dog, just doesn't do it for me. Keepers of the Flame as a core league. Thanks to my help and my help specifically, Aelith and the Order of the Keepers of the Flame have managed to curb the onslaught of the Breach Lords, but the fight is not over yet. Aelith and the Order have solidified their position and will continue to offer assistance and rewards as you drive back the Hiveborn across Rayclast. You now encounter Aelith for the first time in Act 6 Mudflats. Breach hives and unstable breaches now spawn in areas from Act 6 going forward. Multiple unstable breaches can spawn in areas. However, breach hives and unstable breaches cannot both be present in areas. Areas also cannot contain more than one breach hive. Unfortunate. Wait, is breach hive the one with the walls? Yeah, no, breach hive. Nobody wants breach. Why is breach? Why? Listen. Stop. Full stop. Why are the walls still a thing, bro? Like, why do you feel that the walls couldn't just be removed? Nobody wants walls. We don't care if you make them like, why try to make them easier to remove? Just remove them. Nobody wants, like, they just suck. Nobody, just fucking remove them. It's Anyway, added a new currency, the Flesh of Zesht. Transform a breach unique to its alternate version. Breach stones are now non-functional. They can be traded to a vendor in exchange for a hive brain gland and not asking too many questions. Interesting. All the graphs have been removed. Hive brain glands now directly open portals to a hive colony rather than being used alongside a map. Oh, that's interesting. I like this. I like this change. So now you can just save them up and just spam them from your hideout. Okay. Okay, we already know all of this. Okay. All right, so there have been some nerfs to the tree overall. Of course, we kind of like there was no way in hell that the Genesis tree as it was going to be implemented without nerfs. There was just no way. Okay. Foulborn Tollborn has been nerfed from 2 to 4 down to 2 to 3. All right, let's just go through the nerfs of items. All the Foulborn items that have been nerfed: the Red Dream, the Green Dream, the Blue Dream, Tollborn, Thought and Motion, Choir of the Storms, Deed Bellow, Ghost Ride, Dune Kubiari. Cool. Harbinger removed as a core league. Holy shit. While the Breach Lords lie quiet for now, perhaps one day they will return. Or while the Beachhead, excuse me. I said Breach Lord. Fracturing Orbs and Ancient Orbs are now able to drop as part of the core drop pool. Engineer's orbs, Harbinger orbs, and orbs of horizon can no longer be obtained. Existing items will no longer function. Ancient shard, binding shard, engineering shard, harbinger shard, and horizon shard can no longer be obtained. Existing items will be deleted upon logging in. Holy. That's one way to do it. The following currency can no longer be obtained: Deregulation Scroll, Electrostruck Scroll, Fragmentation Scroll, Hemocombustion Scroll, all the scrolls. They've disabled the Journey, the Messenger, and the Landing. Sure. You can no longer obtain the unique fragments. You can no longer obtain any of the uniques. You cannot get Beachhead, or the Infused Beachhead, Immunity Divine, the Flow Untethered, the Fracturing Spinner, the Rippling Thoughts, the Tempest Binding, or the Unshattered Will. They are all gone. Disabled. Finito. The following have been added to the core drop pool: the Immortal Will, the Shattered Divinity, the Surging Thoughts, the Tempest Liberation, the Torrent Reclamation, and the Yielding Mortality. All Harbinger-related passives have been removed. All Scarabs have been removed. All traces of the Blue Man Group have been destroyed. I don't care about these random changes. Next. League changes. Settlers of Cowgirl. King's March has opened a shipping trade route to a new port in a new Karui port. Moda Auto. Shipping ores and bars in King March will now return currency items, while shipping crops will return equipment items. That's a huge, huge, huge fucking nerf to King's March. Holy shit. We're really gonna have to see how the gold and like the gold, like all these other changes, we're gonna have to see how those feel, because this change is fucking massive. Like that change is massive. Let's see. Are you kidding? Due to the heightening dangers within the Atlas, King's March mappers' gold wage cost has increased by 25%. Listen, if you struggled with gold, you're gonna fucking hate that. If you didn't struggle with gold, you don't care. The Bestiary recipe for a stack of 3 Orb of Horizons now instead grants 3 Orbs of Unmaking. 5 Keurig missions is now a nightmare map. Each map crafting option is now a valuable scarab. The Beast Crafting recipe to increase the level of non-corrupted awakened gems by 1 now adds 500 million experience to an exceptional support gem. How much is that? Is that... Bro, how much does it take to go from level 2 to level 3? I don't know about that one. How many times you gotta do that shit now to go to level 3? Because I think it's definitely more than once, right? Hold on. Go look real quick. Let's see. Helium power. Show me a level 2 empower. Two, three, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Uh, 1,000, 2,000, 100,000. It's 1.4 billion XP to go from level 2 to level 3. So you've got to do that craft 3 times to go from a 2 to a 3. 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3. And then so you got to do it with a total of 4 times. Okay, so you've got to do, so to get an exceptional gem to level 3, you've got to do this beastcraft 4 times. Because the first craft is going to immediately put you at level 2, but then you're going to need 3 more to get to level 3, even with the overflow. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's 3. All right, so you need 4 of these to get to a max level. Okay, I mean, you're using the same amount anyway, either way, I guess, because like if you did this on a level 1, you'd have to do it 4 times. So it's the same amount of crafts. It just feels worse, I guess. I guess that's the way to put it. It just feels worse, but it's fine. It's roughly the same, yeah. It just feels worse now until you get like. The beast crafting recipe to reroll and awaken support gem now sacrifices an exceptional support gem for 3 high-level, high-quality support gems. The fuck is that? Huh? What is this? What? Ugh. This sounds like shit. Unless it's giving back exceptional supports, but they didn't word it that way. And I feel like this wording is real specific. I feel like this was intentionally worded this way. I don't know about this. I don't know about this. Betrayal. Some syndicate members are seeking to capitalize on the shifting forces in the Atlas and now offer different rewards. It that fled in transportation now offers a trapped stash with foulborn unique items. Fucking amazing. It that fled, you're amazing. In fortification now offers a crafting spree with a random breach ring that you can use foulborn currency on. Cool. Ren now offers a chest containing originator influenced maps. Fuck yeah. Ren in research now has a trap stash with scarabs. Fuck yeah. Vega now contains incubators. And Torah now has cartography scarabs. Yo, those are some good changes. Those are some good fucking changes in Betrayal. I'm fucking with this. Pretty heavy. Delve. The Sulfite Scarab no longer has map owner gains 150% more Sulfite. The amount of Sulfite gained from Sulfite veins and chests and maps has been increased, scaling to be roughly doubled at the highest level. Change the way that Sulfite veins and maps scale with map item drop quantity to be similar to how Settler's Ore scales with map item drop quantity. Somebody that runs this, you'd have to tell me if that's a buff or a nerf. I don't know. I would assume it's a buff. Tujin no longer sells cluster jewels or abyss jewels in his shop. I'm not sad about that. I almost never bought that shit anyway, so I'm not sure. That's just more spots for currency. Legion. Possessed Legion monsters can no longer release tormented spirits when being broken out. They can still release tormented spirits once broken out. Sure. Added a modifier to ultimatums that prevents the player from being able to block. Oh, that's ass. That's ass, but sure. Player changes. The Templar now wakes on the Twilight Strand, more in touch with his faith. The starting skill for Templar is now Holy Strike, and the starting support gem for the Templar is now Hallow Support. Hallelujah. Totem placement speed now also scales the speed at which totems emerge. Ranged attack totems now have a base placement speed of 0.5 seconds, previously 0.35. Channeling spells such as Lightning Tendrils of Escalation and Blight will now channel towards enemies from further away when used by totems. Intelligence now inherently grants 1% increased maximum energy shield per 10 intelligence. Okay. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is that? Bro, come on. Why you do this? All sources have reduced reflected damage taken. Who cares? Skill gem changes. All right, so we're not reading every fucking skill gem, or maybe we do. There's not that many. All right, we're gonna read the skill gems that aren't shit. Sure. All right, I care about this one. Absolution and Absolution of Inspiring now have a base debuff duration of 3 seconds, previously 1. A base minion duration of 15 seconds, previously 10. Sentinels of Absolution now have 44% more area of effect with their Empowered Lightning Blast skill, and it now deals 40% more damage. Holy shit. Animate Guardian of Smiting. I've never used this thing. Now has minions deal 0 to 76% more damage, previously 38. Shit. The Smite attack now has an impact radius of 2.1 meters up from 1.5 meters. Okay. Charge Dash next. Consecrated Path. Next. Consecrated Path of Endurance. Quality now provides 0 to 15% more damage with hits to closer targets, previously 0 to 10. Consecrated Path of Endurance was okay before, so that's fine. Detonate Dead of Scavenging now has 70% less damage with ailments, previously 60. Sure. Dominating Blow and Dominating Blow of Inspiring. Don't you fuck me, GGG. Don't you do it. Don't you do it, because I was thinking about playing this because y'all making minions look kind of good with the foot scaling and Dominating Blow. The chance to summon a normal sentinel on hitting a unique monster now also applies when hitting rare monsters. Debuff duration is now 3 seconds, previously 1, and the sentinel duration is now 30 seconds, previously 20. The exact same buff appears to have been added to Dominating Blow of Inspiring, except without the rare mob change. Sure, whatever. Sure, we get longer. Our dudes last longer. Sure, that's fine. Earth Shatter now has a damage effectiveness of 329 on the top end, down from 393. Jesus, that's a big one. That's a big one. Energy Blade. Okay. Energy Blade. Energy Blade. Quality now provides a buff, grants 0 to 10 increased attack speed, replacing buff, grants 0 to 5% more maximum energy shield. Brother. They're really not liking the energy shield stacking, are they? Holy Flame Totem. Now fires 3 to 6 projectiles at level 1 to 20, previously 3 at all levels. Now has the AoE gem tag. Holy Flame Totem of Ire now deals 20% more damage at all levels and has an effectiveness of added damage of 40%, previously 35, added the AoE gem tag. Orb of Storms can now be supported by Spell Echo. Penis Brand. 10% more damage at all levels, has a damage effectiveness buff from 570 up to 630. No longer has 30% less damage with ailments. Quality now provides deals 0 to 15% more damage with hits against branded enemies, previously 0 to 10. Base form Penis Brand, getting lots of buffs. Penis Brand of Conduction now activates every, who cares? Penis Brand of Dissipation now activates every 1 second while attached, previously 0.75. Nerf. And now pulses deal 20% more damage with hits and ailments per energy after the first, previously 30. Nerf. All right, so 2 nerfs on Dissipation. A damage nerf and a like activation speed nerf. So they did a classic GGG double tap. They old yelled it double. They about like, okay, cool. Portal, who cares? Purifying Flame, I don't care. Raised Specters. Raised Specters no longer gain a hidden more elemental damage bonus when converting their physical damage to elemental. They also now scale up their monster level more at gem level past 20. A gem level 30 Raised Specter is now level 85, previously level 81. Oh. That's really bad, isn't it? This part right here. That's real bad, isn't it? Fuck. Okay. I'm gonna have to go get like a minion boys. Like I gotta go see what the minion mains are saying, but like my gut reaction to reading this, having not played like a Ray Spectre character in fucking a hot minute, is that that's pretty fucking bad. Maybe the 4-level scaling from 81 to 85 will help counteract that. I don't know. Static Strike now has a shut up, chat. We gotta read. Static Strike now has a base enemy zap range of 2.5 meters, previously 2. A buff. A base duration of 4 seconds, previously 3. A buff. And now beams deal 30% less damage, previously 40. Yet another buff. Static Strike eating good. I love this. Thank you. Now give me Antiquarian so I can redo that build. You know, that'd be pretty good. Stormbrand now deals 3 to 10 lightning damage at level 1, previously 3 to 8. Scaling up to 150 to 449 at level 20, previously 92 to 27. Holy shit. That's a buff. The damage effectiveness has been buffed from 30 at all levels to scale from 45 to 55. Stormbrand now deals 80% more damage with hits against branded enemies at all level. Previously 80 to 1. I had to run the numbers now. You had me, and then I read this. And now I've got to do the math to see how I feel about Stormbrand. Why'd you do that to me, bro? I was getting so excited for Stormbrand, and then you hit me with this, and now I'm kind of just fucking, where's the spreadsheets at, man? Stormbrand of Indecision. Slight buff on the quality. Storm Burst. Sure. Summon Holy Relic. Holy Relic's Nova skill now grants 9 to 985 life regenerated per second to minions at gem level 1 through 20. This is a massive buff. Sweep has been reworked. Hegemony is coming back to PoE. It is happening. It is now called Holy Sweep. Holy Sweep swings a two-handed macer staff in a circle, calling down holy hammers to land randomly on a number of enemies struck. Hits from these holy hammers cannot be evaded. But the main hit can be evaded, so you still have to have accuracy. Thunderstorm. The explosion now deals 300% more damage with hits and ailments. This was previously described as simply more damage, but it was only applying to damage from hits. Thank you for the update and the clarification. Viper Strike of the Mamba now has 30% less attack speed if dual wielding, and each weapon hits separately if dual wielding, dealing 20% less damage, matching regular Viper Strike. It also now cannot inflict multiple poisons in the same hit. Holy. What the fuck? Okay. Okay. Sure. Winter Orb, who cares? Sure. Vol Domination. Ascended Sentinels now gain +2 radius per stage with their Sunder ability, and now deal 300% more damage. Previously 200. Vol Absolution. Ascended Sentinels of Absolution now deal 300% more damage. Previously 200. And have a base duration of 20 seconds from 15. These Ascended Sentinels of Absolution will now also have a 44% more area of effect with their Lightning Blast Cascade skill, matching the non-Vol version buffs. This is a buff. All Awakened support gems can no longer be obtained, except for Awakened Empower, Awakened Enlighten, and Awakened Enhance. The following cards have been disabled, anything that says Awakened. The Labyrinth Gem outcome has been removed, of course. Greater supports will no longer work alongside their non-greater version. Okay, hold on. I need clarification on something. Spell Echo. I need to see. That might suck. Okay. Greater versions of supports no longer work alongside their non-greater versions. In a similar way to how awakened supports did not work with the corresponding non-awakened version of the support. In the case of both versions of a support are socketed, the greater one takes priority. That is a massive, fucking massive nerf to Pledge of Hands. Like, absolutely abysmally huge nerf to Pledge of Hands. Because it used to be that the level 30 greater spell echo would stack with a regular spell echo. And if that's not the case, that is a huge nerf. Cool. Cool. I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of questions about that if people try to play the Golem build this season. I might need to make sure that I have my old Golem build somewhat in order to be able to make changes to that POB in case I get questions about it. Okie dokie. LMP has been renamed, sure. Auto exertion has more mana reservation, sure. Over exertion, don't care. Ascendancy changes. Chieftain Hinakora, Death's Fury notable, now has enemies you or your totems kill have a 10% chance to explode from 5, dealing 250% of their maximum life as fire damage from 500. This is a nerf. That is a big fucking nerf. Like, really, okay, Jesus. Okay. Wow, okay. That's a really big fucking nerf. I wonder if the Chieftain build is gonna survive that much of a nerf. Probably. It did do a lot of damage. We'll have to see, I guess. I mean, because that's literally just cutting their base damage in half, is it not? Like, that's pretty fucking impactful. The Guardian Sentinel of Radiance minion no longer has a duration. It is a permanent minion and has approximately 30% more movement speed. The Sentinel does not persist between areas. Effects that grant random shrine buffs instead now grant greater shocking, freezing, or skeletal shrine instead of the regular version of these shrines. The Time of Need notable now has every 4 seconds remove curses and ailments from you. Previously removed curses and elemental ailments. Sure, that's a buff. The Guardian now has the Guardian now has an additional 2-point ascendancy notable, Marshal of Divinity. This notable grants inflicts Hollowing Flame on melee hit. You can inflict an additional Hollowing Flame on enemies, and you gain 10% of physical damage as extra lightning for each of your Hollowing Flames that have been removed by an ally recently, up to 80%. Man, there are some really cool design choices being made for Guardian and minions. And fuck, am I playing am I league starting a minion build, bro? I might. Warden. The Lessons of the Seasons notable now grants minus 25% flat damage taken of each type of damage per spell hit per, what the fuck? Okay, sure. 40%, or excuse me, 66% buff to Seasons notable, sure. Avatar of the Wilds now grants 100% more elemental damage while unbound, previously 80%. Sure, okay. Assassin, the opportunistic notable now provides damage cannot be reflected. Saboteur, the perfect crime notable now has 30% less damage with triggered spells, previously 35. 50% increased cooldown, previously 40. Calculated risk now has damage of enemies hitting you is unlucky. Very nice. The Elementalist lost 50% increased effective buffs from golems. That sucks. But sure. The Ascendant Assassin notable now provides damage cannot be reflected. Sure. I don't even remember what half of the Bloodlines did. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even remember what half of the Bloodlines did because like they were too new and I didn't mess with so many of them. Let's just get I just kind of want to get a feel for if they were nerfs or buffs going in. There's 20%, previously 15. There's no 3. So a complete weird change here. A buff here, buff here, buff here. Looks like buffs pretty much across the board. Yeah, yeah, this is all. It just looks like just a slew of buffs to the bloodlines. Sure. Passive tree changes. Added 2 new clusters to the west of the Templar starting area. One granting accuracy and effect of consecrated ground. The other granting accuracy and attack area of effect. Added a new protection mastery that provides 50% of damage from your hits cannot be reflected. This replaces the mastery that grants a 65% reduced effect of wither on you. I think I'd rather have the wither notable if I had to pick one, but sure. Defiled Force is notable. No longer refreshes the duration of ignites on enemies you curse, and instead has curse skills have 15% cast speed. Sure. Sure. Evasion and energy shield mastery nerfed. Yep. The fire mastery that granted 50% chance to refresh ignite duration on critical strike has been replaced with a mastery granting 12% to fire damage over time multiplier and 50% increased ignite duration on you. Sure. Unique item changes. Bino's kitchen knife unique dagger now has on killing a poisoned enemy within 3 meters instead of 1.5 meters, 400 regen instead of 200 regen. Sure. The chaos resistance has been buffed. Sure. Oh god, they're really killing this. They're really fucking trying to kill that build. They're really just trying to kill the fucking chieftain builds, aren't they? The Blood Notch unique jewel now has 20 to 30% of damage taken from stunning hits is recovered of his life. This is a 50% nerfed. Bloodseeker has more physical. Do we care about the Bloodseeker and Bino's kitchen knife changes? Like really? Like if you were gonna use that item, you were gonna use that item as like your entry level weapon, but like, sure, whatever. Sure. Marohiurki now has 40 to 50% increased area of effect. Lioness Glare unique bow now has attacks you use yourself repeat an additional time, and attacks you use yourself have 50% more attack speed. The implicit modifier is now 20 to 24% increased global physical damage. It no longer has 10 to 20 increased attack speed. These changes do not affect existing items. Okay, Lion's Eye Glare. I see it. Pledge of Hands, here we go. The Pledge of Hands unique staff now has socketed gems as reported by level 1 greater spell echo, previous level 30, that makes sense. This change affects existing versions of the item. The staff now also has 50 to 100% increased maximum mana. Sure. I mean, so they buffed this, but like, The change to the interaction of greater spell echo and baseline spell echo is still there. They have done nothing. Like, that's just a straight. Sure. Shaper's Touch has been nerfed for intelligence. Sibyl's Lament. The Sibyl's Lament unique ring now grants 100% of elemental hit damage from you and your minions cannot be reflected, previously 80. And 100% of physical in the opposite slot, previously 80. Soul Taker unique axe now has eats 2 to 4 souls when you kill a rare or unique enemy with this weapon. Existing versions of this item are unaffected by this change. The Supreme Truth unique scepter no longer grants 20% increased elemental damage, and instead now grants attacks with this weapon inflict hallowing flame on hit. That makes sense. The Unseen Hue new unique ring now drops from regular Incarnation of Fear. Interesting. Voltaxic Rift. Oh. Voltaxic Rift unique bow now has treats enemy monster chaos resistance values as inverted, and no longer has hits with this weapon shock enemies as though dealing 300% more damage. Interesting. The Woe Spike unique ring now has 40 to 50% less impale duration and 20 to 30% chance on melee hit for the strongest impale on a target to last one additional time. Woe Spike now drops from Uber Incarnation of Fear. They nerfed the shit out of that. I see. Interesting. Item changes. Currency items now account for a significantly larger portion of dropped items. This change is to allow currency rewards from slaying the enemies to be more competitive with other sources in the game. Oh, baby. Ground loot, please. This change does not affect the number of Scrolls of Wisdom or Portal Scrolls that drop. Non-unique equipment items are approximately 60% less common as a result of the change. These changes do not affect Ruthless. Lowered how much modifier tier rating is granted to rare items generated from King's Mark shipping. Gambling and... that sucks. That sucks. Relative rarities of several currencies have been adjusted. Most notably, Exalted and Regal Orbs will now be comparatively more common. Ooh, I like a buff to Exalted Orbs. Thank you. I fuck with that. Increase the penalty to gold and map drops on Breach and Blight monsters. What y'all doing to Blight, bro? Y'all playing with my emotions. SN7 Saturday on rings now grants 60% of hit damage from you and your minions cannot be reflected. Who cares? Synthesis Implicit on rings reflected. Who cares? Reflected. Who cares? Fuck reflect. Who cares? Primordial Bond has been nerfed from 40 to 20. Low tolerance has been nerfed from 300 to 200. I wonder if this... So they definitely are trying to just murder the chieftain builds, like like both of the chieftain builds that come to mind. The first one is going to be like the self-ignite chieftain. They cut the base damage to that in half on top of some other stuff. And then like there was the specific nerf to block inside of Ultimatum that you can get. There's the changes to the recovery on stunning hit jewel. There's the they're really gunning for those two chieftain builds. And then they're clearly trying to nerf Mamba as well with the nerf to the actual skill gem and the nerf to low tolerance. Like those are very, like that's just for that build, of course. The chieftain builds I'm questionable about heavily. Same for I don't know. I'd have to look. Because like a couple of this, like this is more than a 50% damage nerf for that build. And for the self-ignite build. So like, is that enough to kill these builds? I don't know. I don't know. Removed all crafts that enchant flash from the hoarder crafting bins. What? Why? Did they remove? Why? Why did we do that? Sure. Okay. Ruthless changes. Who cares? Don't care. Sure. You know, favorite trades. Yep. All right, that's it. That's the patch notes. Man, minions look like they're gonna be eating so good this season, bro. I'm fuck. There's a real high chance that I play some type of melee minion build this season. I kind of, so going into the season, I've sort of want to try and do something that I've not done before as a league start. So I was thinking maybe, like, I've never targeted like Blight as like the thing I'm gonna do to start my season, and I'm thinking of doing something like that. So like picking something I've not farmed before, because I mean there's a lot of stuff that's in the game that you kind of just like, I don't know, like especially somebody like me, there's a lot of stuff I've just like not really interacted with a ton. Like I've done a little bit of Blight, but not a lot of it. I have like I don't want to do, I know I don't want to do Sanctum. Fuck Sanctum. I don't know. I'll have to decide. Maybe I'll ask around in Discord and see what the homies say. See what people maybe have an interest in seeing. But yeah, that is the patch notes. Yeah, that didn't take as long as I thought it was going to take. There's less changes to skills than I thought there were going to be. I thought we were going to get a lot more skill changes, but there were a lot of changes overall. It sounds like we were getting ground loot back, which would be nice. They're definitely gunning for like a lot of the popular shit. There were very specific nerfs to some specific builds, namely the Chieftain builds and the Mamba build. Also the energy stackers. Got a lot of different nerfs sprinkled in throughout there. Also nerfs to some of the more degenerate stuff. So the Blight, I'm real curious the state of in-map Blight. Like not Blight maps, just in-map Blight after all of these changes. Those are that's probably the biggest mechanic that I've got like a question mark about, other than I guess keepers, right? Keepers, Cowgirl, and Blight are the things I've got question marks about going into this season. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, let's see what we've got going on here. All right. Yep. Okay. So I'm gonna get to work on some video stuff. I just want to do a quick patch note stream just so we could go through them, and I was like, you know, had a chance to actually properly just sit down and go through them before I started really making plans or testing or doing any of that fun stuff. So short stream. We'll be back this evening for a regular stream, by the way. Just, you know, wanted to do something different today. Anyway, appreciate you guys for hanging out. Love you. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is for you. I'm out of here, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye, everybody.